Welcome to another world debut at the Cannes Yachting Festival. Behind me here is Sanlorenzo's all-new SP110. Now, SP stands for Smart Performance, and this is the first proper performance boat they have built. This 110-foot boat is capable of a remarkable 40 knots. Now, that is a big old speed for something this size. It's powered by triple water jets on triple MTU 2000 horsepower engines, and the starting price for this is around 12.5 million euros. So quite a beast. And it also has a very unusual layout. So let's see if we can take a closer look and really get a feel for what this is all about. So let's have a quick look at the stats. We can see here it's 33 meters overall length, 8.2 meter beam, 1.3 meter draft, fuel capacity of 12,000 litres, and there are those three MAN V12 2000 horsepower engines. So, first up, you can see it's got a small folding transom. So this section down here, that folds up, but when it folds down, it reveals this lovely stairwell up into the cockpit area. Beautiful teak absolutely everywhere. They always do that very nicely at Sanlorenzo. You can see it's got 4 C-bobs all laid out, which all store under the deck here. Beautifully done. You can see all the lines tucked away, hidden away. It's very, very clean, minimalist design, this boat. And this whole open cockpit area is exactly that. So there's no transom in the way, there's no gate. You have just got this platform down into the sea and that lovely staircase down. Huge sun lounging area, all kind of freestanding. You can arrange it pretty much how you want. And this is what I mean by being minimalist design. Everything is tucked away. If you lift up this great big, you can see all the ropes and winches and cleats under there. And you've got the buttons for the cleats, but it's all kept as clean and minimalist as possible. There's a huge sun awning over the top giving you some shade. You can see these carbon fibre poles that slot in and provide that. Even the speakers, have you seen how these speakers lift in and out of this big cockpit coaming here, out of the chunky bulwark? Lots of storage under here, but again, all very discreet and tucked away. And that is actually a boarding gate, so even that has to be concealed as if it's just a locker. So it's all about this very clean look. Now, one of the most unusual features of this is the way it has this split level access into the saloon. So you can see this angled glass door slides all the way back, opens up, one each side, and then there is a split level entry. So there is a lower saloon below deck level and then a raised one just above it. Now we're going to have to dodge around some of the other guests on board at the moment. It's obviously very busy, a lot of people keen to see. While we're here, we'll just have a little look up the side deck, and again you can see those cutaway bulwarks, so you get a view through there out from the saloons. But let's get stuck in and see if we can find our way around. So let's start with the lower saloon, why not? Really lovely area. If we drop down the staircase, that's the man responsible for this new design. But we can see here this lower saloon area, really kind of quiet, shaded. There is air conditioning in here, so even though it's open, it's like a little hideaway, a little oasis of calm. You can see it has got windows out. We've got the sort of sunshades down at the moment to try and keep it a little bit cooler. Actually, it's not the sunshades, that's the actual printing on the outside of the window that gives that very clean look to the side of the boat. But it also means it's a very kind of shady, nice, cool zone. Again, lots of funky freestanding furniture. This rather nice bar area over here. You can see the bottles tucked away in there. Ice maker in there, fridge in there. And we're going to take a look. There is actually a concealed access to the engine room. Why don't we go and have a look at that now, actually? Because this is really quite something. I know we wouldn't normally do it at this stage of the tour, but when you've got 3 massive engines on water jets, it's very much at the heart of the boat. So here you can see we've got one central engine, slightly lower level, and then side ones either side, powering water jets. Now, these things consume quite a lot of fuel, understandably, But the whole point is that the boat has been built light, so that even though it's capable of remarkable 40 knots, what it's really about is cruising at 30 knots comfortably, at which point it's burning around about 650 litres an hour. Now, obviously that is quite a lot of fuel, but then the point of a boat like this is you get there quickly. So although it is more expensive than a big displacement boat or even a slightly less fast planing boat, you do get there quicker, and overall, over the distance, you're probably using about 30% more fuel. But quite a piece of kit. You can see we've got all the fuel filters here, we've got water makers, we've got hydraulics under there. That's the Seakeeper down there, so big Seakeeper stabilizer tucked under there. That will keep it stable at rest and underway. And then if we make our way back between the engines, it gets really quite tight down here, but here's these huge water jet outlets you can see. There's the central one, and then either side. That is quite a piece of kit. And of course, oh, just bashed my head. Exhaust running overhead, lots of cooling. Right, let's now go and look at the rest of the accommodation. I just couldn't resist showing you that, and I love the fact that it's all tucked behind this concealed door. So you can see there is a watertight door there too, but once you come into the lower saloon itself, it's all discreetly tucked away. So moving forward from the lower saloon, we come to the cabins themselves. We might have to dodge our way around here. Again, it is quite busy, but it's relatively dark down here. Again, it's very much a kind of calm, shaded oasis. It does have little portholes in all of these cabins, and these are actually sliding shades. So they're wooden shades that slide across electronically. There's a little button. I don't know if we're able to activate it from here. Oh, more lights. No, I can't seem to get those to work at the moment, but those two wooden slides slide across the other side and give you complete darkness without having curtains or blinds or anything like that. Very classy ensuite bathroom, shower over to one side, walk-in shower, very smart granite basin, little sliding top, rather a neat solution, and then the toilet in a separate compartment over on the other side. So gives you plenty of privacy, and behind a huge glass mirror. So you have separate, you've got the access to the bathroom itself, separate, very discreet toilet area, and the walk-in shower. Now there's a very similar mirror double cabin over here. Again, big island berth, quite low, you'll notice, and relatively plain decor. Again, it's part of that minimalist look. See this rather lovely, it's not ply, but you can see it's veneered wood, very nice light oak, and lots of nice curves and shapes in it. Lends it a bit of texture and style. Again, little bench and those sliding wooden shutters, and the ensuite bathroom, exactly the same. And then moving further forward, it's looking quite busy in here, but we'll see if we can have a quick look through here. Thank you. So this is the master cabin. And again, it's actually relatively egalitarian for a boat this size. You normally have a huge full beam master cabin, and in fact you can do that. This bulkhead here, which is currently mirrored, and there is another cabin behind it, that can be removed and you can have a huge full beam master cabin. But in order to retain 4 cabins, they've kept the master cabin, I wouldn't say small, but not quite as vast as it might normally be. Now this rather cool walk-in wardrobe. You can see this glass effect with the walk-in wardrobe, all beautifully lit. Again, that lovely light oak finish. And again, sliding shutters across the windows, and then through to the ensuite cabin further forward. Again, ensuite bathroom, sorry, not cabin. Here is the sort of sink area, nice big sliding mirror, again, to give privacy from that open window behind it. walk-in shower on this side. Really nice and big. Overhead shower. And then through to the heads area with a bidet as well, and its own little porthole. But again, very nice and calm, minimalist, cool. And this is the fourth cabin over on the port side now. Again, double cabin, again, very simple design, unfussy. All about architectural, minimalist, light and space, and not overly fussy with the details. And of course, again, ensuite bathroom. So they're very much letting the architectural style do the talking, rather than filling it full of lots of lavish details. And let's see if we can now make our way up to the deck above, trying to find a little spot. So remember, there's that split level idea. We can see the lower saloon down here, and then these floating steps up into the main raised saloon. And this is where you get the benefit of those big superstructure windows. Again, freestanding furniture gives you lots of options and possibilities of how you want to have it structured and laid out. But not only have you got these huge side windows, obviously big TV on that part there, but you've also got this lovely view at the back, so you get the full benefit of that split level view out through the back. Keeps it all open. The idea is to keep all these socialising spaces connected, so whether you're outside in the cockpit, down in the lower saloon, or up here in the raised main deck saloon, it's all connected. And a big square steel dining table, I think, painted steel, you can hear it resonate. But again, very much minimalist, architectural, designer look. But those big side windows, and you can see we've got opening side doors on either side. Huge sliding doors that open up onto the side decks. We'll go and have a look at those in a minute. But just check out, we've got a day heads here. Very nice to have that on the main deck. Again, don't have to go down into the cabins below. And then the galley area is a space between the saloon further back and the bridge further forward. It's a little bit dark in here, and sorry we got that slight strange effect on the screen from the LED lighting, but got cooking, big sink, all the refrigeration behind here. Again, you have to find them, but two big fridges there, microwave, wine fridge, oven, cooking hob. And you can see that that can shut off with the door there, and indeed here, so it can be kept completely separate if the captain is navigating from here. We'll have a look at the bridge helm area in a minute, but you can see this also has access down into the crew cabins. Going to have a very quick, discreet look. I think they're all occupied at the moment, but you can see there is captain's cabin there, and then there are two bunk cabins either side. One there, and then another one. I'm not going to go in there, but you can see there are the washing machines there too. So popping back up from the crew cabin. So we can see this is where the side decks link up, and this is forward to the bow area. And again, this is one of the core areas on board. This big socialising space here, lovely cream seats, big teak table. You can see there is a central section that can lift out of that, so you can have that as two separate tables, or link it together to make one, big sunbathing space. And again, these speakers that pop out of the decks here, and everything concealed. Under here is all the grand tackle. You can see there are the anchors, the forward cleats, but all tucked out of sight to keep that very clean look. And another big sun awning up here on these carbon fibre poles. So very cool. We'll just give you a quick look down those side decks. So again, that runs past the bridge area and to these opening doors back into the saloon and all the way back to the cockpit. But first I want to take you back round in this direction to show you another surprise, because even though this is very much a sport yacht with a low profile, it has actually got a small flybridge up top. So if we come back in this direction, we can find these steps up, very discreetly tucked in here. You can see this is a pantograph door that swings out, but there is a very small spiral staircase that leads up to the fly deck. And how cool is this? See, there's a big sunbathing area, seating area overlooking the stern, and even a small outside helm station. So it's not the main helm station, clearly, because it's just got the very basics. You've got one big screen, you've got joystick control, so you can steer the whole thing on joystick. You have got the thrusters, but there's no wheel, there's no throttles, it's purely the joystick. The idea is, again, keep it very minimalist. It just means you can drive the boat from outside if you want to. And this whole top of the coach roof here is absolutely covered in solar panels. And again, the idea is it's obviously not electric propulsion system, but it has got an electrical hotel load system. And the idea is that you can run it at anchor using the solar panels and the battery pack without having to run the generator. So although it is a very fast, powerful diesel engine motor yacht, they are starting to think about sustainability and making sure that you can at least run the boat and the hotel load, all the electrics, using batteries and solar panels as much as anything, so that you don't have to have the generator running all the time. You can have a quiet yacht. So those big sun pads, let's pop back down and see if we can have a look at the bridge area. Because unusually, most of these sport yachts have very steeply raked windscreens to give that kind of low profile look. But you can see that this one has absolutely vertical windscreens. And the beauty of that is you get a fantastic view from the bridge deck. So rather than very steeply raked windows that you're giving you a rather sort of post letterbox, peering out of the letterbox kind of view, you get a full wrap of vertical windows giving a terrific view forward and to the sides. Obviously you can't look backwards on a boat of this size, but it is, relatively speaking, a great view out. You can of course pop out the side deck to get a view down the sides, and that glass screen just goes through into the galley area, but you can see it's very heavily tinted, so that if you are cruising at night and you've got the crew whipping up a nice meal, it doesn't mean you necessarily need to spoil your night vision or have the noise and disturbance coming from there. You can keep this completely separate. And even the helm station itself is very minimalist. You can see there's not a proper seat, it's just a leaning post that will fold down. But again, it's just a tiny little rest and a really tiny little modest steering wheel that looks like something you get on a small racing car rather than a 110-foot yacht. But it's very much part of the aesthetic. Two huge touchscreen navigation panels, MFDs, gives you access to absolutely everything. You can control the whole boat from here, whether it's the navigation or the systems itself. You can go through all the menus and have access to everything you want, all the engines, the aircon system, battery levels, and you can see lithium system. That's the battery system I was talking about that lets you run the whole boat on quiet mode, so that you can just use the lithium batteries and the solar panels to run all the electrics. Tiny little set of throttles. Again, and even though there are 3 engines, you just have the 2 throttles, because essentially the whole thing is synced, and all you need are the 2 throttles to run all 3 engines. You have got the option of running it all from the joystick here too, and of course the bow and stern thrusters. There's a mouse style wheel to make your way through the different menus, the MAN engine system panels, and the Humphrey trim system. So as well as that Seakeeper stabilizer, you've got the Humphrey automatic trim tabs that keeps the whole boat running level at speed, as well as stable at anchor. Small crew area over to starboard, so it can keep you company underway, but again, very minimalist, very clean, very cool, Absolutely part of the new smart performance aesthetic. So, take you back through that raised upper saloon, get a final view of it, take it all in. Be interesting to see what some of this freestanding furniture is like underway when you're doing 40 knots through a bit of a sea. I don't know, hopefully it is a very, very stable yacht. But they've obviously got every confidence that it's going to stay in place when you're doing serious speed. And back down into that lower saloon. Excuse me. And we come back out into that aft cockpit and that fabulous view over the stern with access straight into the sea. So there you have it. That is the Sanlorenzo SP110, all 12.5 million euros of it, and all 110 feet and 40 knots performance. I hope you've enjoyed this rapid tour. I'm sorry that it was quite so busy, but that's the way it is at the boat show. Everybody wants to see the new boats, and I wanted to make sure that you could see it too. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.